Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be updating you on my 1 month 2 palette series that I started last month. Basically, last month I just shared with you kind of my reasoning for starting this series, so I just really want to rotate like equally through all of my eyeshadow palettes within my collection. But then I also shared with you obviously the 2 palettes that I was going to focus on for the first month. So today I want to share with you looks that I created over this past month, as well as just to kind of talk a little bit about the palettes and how they work together. And I really haven't thought or figured out what, like, if there's a formula of how I want to share these videos with you guys ongoing. So let me know the kind of like structure that you'd love to see in this sort of series. Like, would you like to see mini reviews of each palette and then the looks that I created, and then I'll talk about the other 2 palettes, or do you really just want to hear basics on how I use the palettes and then just show you the next 2 palettes and let you know the reasoning why I'm choosing those 2 palettes? Like, do I need to be thinking of this in such a grand way anyway? I don't think so, but basically, yeah, just let me know if there's a certain structure or certain information that you want from me through this series, and I'll definitely try my best to incorporate that in the next one. For now, I just want to share with you guys my experience with these 2 palettes over the last month, so let's just hop on into that. And the 2 palettes that I selected for this past month were the Pacifica Solar palette and the Colourpop and Kathleen Lights Dream Street palette. And they are both absolutely beautiful palettes. I chose this guy specifically because it's a more natural palette, and I have had it in my collection for over a year, and I just wanted to continue to make progress on it instead of just letting it go bad. And then the other one is the Dream Street palette, and I selected this one because it is a newer palette in my collection. Not really at this point. I did purchase it actually on its launch date, but I didn't have it physically in my hands until I think the very end of December, so I've had it for about 6 months now, and I really wanted to just work through it so that I could formulate my opinion on the palette as a whole and each of the shades within the palette. Very, very happy I selected both of these, and as you can tell, the color schemes are not similar, but they are quite complementary. And I was actually able to use the blush and the bronzer in here quite a bit because I can use them both on the face and on the eyes, and I have used them several times on the eyes. I love the result that they gave, but these highlighters, they just, you can tell there's nothing on there. They dried up completely over the past year, and that's just because of the way that this is packaged. Like, those are cream products, and this packaging really doesn't seal them all that much. So unfortunately, those went bad, but I'm happy that I'm working my way through the remaining 8 products in this palette. This palette, it does work on its own, but there are limited looks that you can create with this palette on its own. So I just dug my nail in on an eyeshadow in this one. I'm so happy that I paired it with this one because I honestly think that the mattes in this palette, as well as the shimmers actually, just pair so perfectly with all of the shimmers in this one as well. I'm very happy that I selected both of these palettes to focus on this past month, and I'll share with you guys some photos of looks that I created. I did tend to keep it quite neutral just because this past month was very crazy for me, and I didn't have a lot of time to really explore all of the brighter shades in the Dream Street palette, but I was able to use every single one of the shades between both of these palettes several times and just integrate them into whatever kind of look I was doing for that day. And I honestly am so happy that I chose both of these palettes for this past month, because I feel like not only did it set this project off, or this series off, on a really good foot, because I felt very successful and I felt very happy using both of these palettes, and I just didn't have like the mental capacity to like even want to do anything too over the top or to really explore with makeup. So what I was doing was I was creating different looks every single day using these 2 palettes, but I didn't feel so overwhelmed by the options. I know that I previously had said, like when I started this project, that I was going to do a review on the Dream Street palette for you guys, and I didn't get a chance to do that just because of the craziness of this past month, but I am 100% willing, and I want to do a review on this palette if you guys are interested. So please let me know if you want to see my full thoughts on this palette, because it is something that I have now spent a month with, but I also used it for like the first 2 months that it was in my collection. Like I used it a lot. So I have a lot of experience with this palette, and I definitely can share my thoughts with you guys in full in a dedicated video if that's something that you're interested in. But yes, I'm very, very happy I chose both of these palettes, and I did a palette bingo this month with this guy as well, and I was really happy with the way that that video turned out, so I'll link that down below if you guys haven't seen that yet. But it was a lot of fun. It's been a really fun month with these two eyeshadow palettes. Even though I didn't always explore, it was very satisfying to use two palettes and to just focus on two items in my collection instead of feeling overwhelmed by the possibilities. This is actually like perfect timing for me to start the new month because I actually quit my like part-time job and I only have a full-time job now. So I'm only going to be working like, you know, a regular full-time schedule, 40 hours a week, nothing too overwhelming, nothing too crazy. So I'm going to have creative time. I'm going to have my own like brain space back, and I dyed my hair purple, as you guys obviously have seen this whole video, and I'm just feeling like I want to jump in and do more creative things again, just because this previous month really got me down, and I'm ready to be back up again. So I chose two palettes that I'm really excited about because both of them are relatively newer in my collection, and they're both really fun palettes in my opinion. So I have the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. This I bought in the middle of last month, and I bought it as kind of a bit of a pick-me-up. I just really wanted, well, I have been for several months craving an all brights palette, but this one caught my eye because of not only the price point, but the variety of colors that you get in here. And I am wearing 2 or 3 of the shades from this palette. These two, and I think this one, yeah. So 3 shades of this palette on my eyes today. So you can definitely do something like a little bit more toned down with this palette. But I'm also going to be using something that is more neutral. And that is this guy right here. This is the Klara Cosmetics Paris eyeshadow and highlighter palette. And it's extremely reflective, and it looks like this. Beautiful palette. So it's all neutrals with shimmers and mattes, and then this is all brights with shimmers and mattes, and I think that these are going to pair so well together, independently or obviously together, and I feel like I can create so many fun looks using both these palettes. And this is newer in my collection as well. I've had it for probably 5 months. It was gifted to me by my friend, and it's an absolutely beautiful palette, but I haven't reached for it near enough at all, actually. Like, I think I've worn it maybe 3 times. I have worn the highlighter on my cheeks several times, and I am wearing it today. It's gorgeous. It's so cool, this color. Like, it's like a white gold, and I just feel like, you know, when I want to go more neutral and just have something really easy going on, I can reach for this one. And then this guy I can obviously use in conjunction with the palette or on its own or in conjunction with other shadows in my collection. So I'm really excited that this new month I can just kind of set the tone and start it off really right with these two fun palettes. I'm really excited to play with both of them and to formulate my thoughts on both of them, as they're really things that are newer in my collection that I haven't really gotten a full feel for yet, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to like set this month off right, starting with new makeup, fun colors, all that kind of stuff, and just like starting with a fresh new mindset as well. Obviously that makes a big difference in life too. So yes, I'm so excited to be doing this. I'm definitely going to be doing a palette bingo with this guy, and I can't wait to share my thoughts on these two newer palettes in my collection with you guys in a month's time, and to share with you guys the fun looks I know that I'm going to create. And yeah, let me know if you guys own either of these palettes. Let me know your thoughts on them. And that is absolutely everything for today's video. I'm sorry that it kind of took a turn to being a little bit more like emotionally driven than makeup driven, but that's just what's been going on. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!